確かにわずかばかりの朝食では体が持たないが、しかし。
もちろん分かってるさ。だがな、時間を置けばどんどん暗くなってくる。多分今が一番明るい。今が一番都合がいいんだ。
ローザさんたちが襲われてからまだ1時間も経ったかどうかですよ。いくらなんでも不用心です。
It was only natural that Natsui was yelling about recklessness, because Rudolf had said that he was going to the mansion to get food. Certainly, they were being tormented by hunger as well as their fatigue. In the beginning, they were just fine, because they could fight their moderate hunger with their drowsiness. But now it just made their minds hazy, and even though it was still only midday, their bodies felt like they were reaching their limits. The thought of going into the kitchen in the mansion and bringing back some food certainly was attractive.
私は反対です。多少は辛いでしょうが、断じてここを出るべきではありません。
私たちはいい。だが子供たちにひもじい思いをさせるのは心が痛む。親として責任を負わねばなるまい。
あなた、お父様が亡くなられた今、後宮家の当主はあなたです。そのような危険を冒すことは許されません。
そうね、夏日さんの言う通りよ。クラウスさんはリーダーとしてここに残るべきね。
なら誰が屋敷へ行くんだね。
俺とキリエ、あと秀吉兄さんの3人で行こうと思う。俺と秀吉兄さんは銃を持ってる。そう簡単に向こうも手出しはできないはずだ。
ローザさんも銃を持っていましたが襲われました。危険ではありませんか。
ローザたちの様子を確かめに出た時、銃を持っていたが俺は一人だった。だが襲われなかった。男が相手なら向こうも慎重なのかもしれないぜ。
男性が2人、そしてさらに銃も2丁。2人には護衛役に徹してもらって、荷物は台車で私が運ぶわ。ローザさんの時とは状況が明らかに異なるはずよ。
わしを男と見込んでの話なら喜んで協力させてもらうで。こう見えても屋台を引いて鍛えた体や。力仕事は任せてえな。
男性は護衛役に徹してくれていいの。使用人室に折りたたみ式の台車があったから、それを使えば私一人でも十分に食料が運べるわ。もちろん用心はする。そしてこの冒険を一度だけ成功させれば、もう二度と私たちはここを出る危険を冒す必要はないの。
なんとか考え直せませんか。皆さんに空腹を強いるのは心苦しいですがしかし今の外は何が起こるか分かりませ
ん。用心するで。それにエヴァはだいぶ体調が悪いんや。空腹にはできん。胃袋が空っぽじゃ飲める薬も飲めんわ。エヴァのためにもわしは出かけにはならんのや。
エヴァの具合はどうなんだね。
ようやく寝入ってくれたとこや。熱も高い。しばらくそっとしたってや。
妻の体調があっては座してもいられんか。分かった。外出を許可しよう。
じゃあ俺たちはさっくりと行ってくるぜ。スピード勝負だ。缶詰は OK だよな。缶切りクレーこっちにあるよな。
はい。缶切りと 栓抜きはあります。
ゲストハウスに水道があるから飲み物は不要よね。10人分もあるんだから好き嫌いは言わせないわ。
よっしゃ、だだって走ってってさっさと持ってこようやないか。
You seem really happy to go, Hideyoshi.
傘なんてさしてる暇あらへんで。
じゃあ兄貴、留守番を頼むぜ。
気をつけてな。本当ならば自分も生きたい。男に生まれながらこのような急場で力を貸せぬ長男の肩書きが恨めしい。
こういう時くらいしか俺らには見せ場がないのさ。たまには譲って兄貴はのんびりしてろい。じゃあな、夏日さん、タオルの準備でもして待っててくれ。傘はささねえから濡れネズミで帰ってくるぜ。
わかりました。お気をつけて。
Rudolf, Kyrie, and Hideyoshi, each leaving their own brave words behind, left the lobby. Oh god, this is going to end disastrously, but I'm intrigued to see what happens. Because this chapter's name has battle in it. So, I'm really intrigued to see what this battle is. Compared to the time Rosa and Maria had gone outside, the winds had picked up once again. Rudolph's group of 3 people jogged through the rose garden without umbrellas, holding their guns and a folded cart. If everything had been still and quiet, without the wind and the rain, they would probably have kept their ears open and moved with caution. But in this rain, even if some suspicious person was hiding nearby, it would be difficult to notice them. Because of that, it had been Rudolph's plan to instead dash through the dangerous area. If there was a chance that their opponent was equipped with a gun, then walking slowly with their guard up would only make them a target. It was probably correct to decide on swift action.
バラティや、カモがネギしょってきたと思うとるかもしれんで。
頼むぜ、誰も出てきてくれるなよ。
Even as Rudolph and Hideyoshi continue to run, they look around restlessly, vigilant of their surroundings. Rosa Maria's death had not been caused by a projectile. However, it was easy to suspect that the servants had been killed in such a manner. Will they come flying out of the dark? Or will they take careful aim and snipe from the shadows? Either way, they couldn't relax their attention for even an instant. But even so, when they reached the overhang in front of the entrance to the mansion and escaped the reach of the raindrops, they felt themselves breathing a sigh of relief.
まずは問題なしやな。ローザさんの時とは違う。うかつに手は出せんやろ。
そう信じたいね。キリエ、俺たちが見張ってる間に鍵を開けてくれ。
ええ、 SP が2人もついてお屋敷に帰宅だなんて実にエグゼクティブな気分よ。
赤絨毯で召使いのお出迎えがあれば完璧や。
Uh-oh. Are they gonna get greeted to by all the stakes because Hideyoshi said that? Well, no, it's Eva-Beatrice. The first Beatrice would have done that, but I don't know about Eva-Beatrice. Plus, Hideyoshi is with them. Even though I think this might end disastrously, Hideyoshi is with them.
お出迎えか。あるかもな。用心しようぜ。
As the two cautiously surveyed their surroundings, Kyrie unlocked the front door with the master key she had been given.
開いたわ。
秀吉兄さん、戦闘を頼めるか。俺は背後を警戒するぜ。
了解や。キリさん、わしの影から出ないようにな。ほな突入するで。
後方了解。援護するぜ。
男の人ってやあね。この状況をちょっぴり楽しんでるでしょう。
諦めろよ。それが男ってもんだぜ。
I have a slight suspicion as to why Rudolf and Kyrie specifically requested Hideyoshi. Now, it could be because he is a man, or they might be having a secondary thought in bringing Hideyoshi along with them. I think that they might be suspecting him of something.
しかし相変わらずひでえ匂いだな。
At death's door, the air in the mansion felt stagnant with a heavy silence. And worse, it was still thick with the stench from Kenzo's burnt corpse in the boiler room. And they were stuck with a strong desire to leave the mansion, although they were never planning to stay.
前方問題ないで。厨房まで一っ走りや。
とっとと済ませて引き上げよう。スーツが親父の匂いで燻蒸されちまうぜ。
The three of them dashed towards the kitchen. Uh-oh. Here we go. The candles dance! And after they disappeared from the entrance hall, the new witch showed herself there.
まんまと誘い出されたわね。私の罠にまんまと引っかかってくれた。
Oh? The witch grinned. Thinking about it now, no matter how unbearable their hunger had grown, barely a few hours had passed since Rosa and Maria had been attacked and had lost their lives. In that case, why had they needed to recklessly leave the guest house? Until that question could be dealt with, the only answer was that they had been called out by the witch's magic.
不用心なやつら。もう生きてこの屋敷からダッシュはしないわ。閉じよ、鍵よ、屋敷よ。
The instant she proclaimed that. Wait, would she kill Hideyoshi? She might kill Hideyoshi, holy shit. The mansion was sealed off in a separate world. Would Eva-Beatrice actually kill her husband? Well, it's not Eva-Beatrice's husband, it's just Eva's husband. Even though Eva-Beatrice is, Eva, she's also not? Maybe. I'll just have to keep on reading. I wonder if they will actually have her kill Hideyoshi. Wait, did I don't think I read that last line. Oops. Sorry about that. The instant she proclaimed that, the mansion was sealed off in a separate world. Unless she were to dispel the barrier, no longer could anyone exit this mansion or enter it.
お見事です。無限の魔女を継承してからまだ半日も経たないのに、それほどまでに魔法を使いこなされるとは。その才能に驚きます。まるであなたは生まれながらにしての魔女のようだ。
だって私生まれた時から魔女だもの。あなたは瞬きの仕方を誰かに習うの？私が魔法を使えるのはそういうことよ。
恐ろしいお方だ。
The witch's face twisted with brutality. She was beside herself with excitement at being able to toy with life again.
さてさて。まずはルドルフとキリエなわけだけど、どんな残酷な殺し方をしてやろうかしら。
失礼ながら先代様より不必要な残酷なる殺害は
控えるようご指示を賜っております。そして第4の晩以降は生贄の捧げ方に作法がございます。それには煉獄の7姉妹の力を借りねばなりません。
あら、そうだったの？そういえばそうだったわね。好き勝手に遊べるのはさっきの第2の晩までなのね。つまんないわ。またローザの時みたいに思い切り遊べると思ったのに。でもそれは最後の殺し方という意味でしょ？
と申しますと、
私が何度どれほどの殺し方をしようとも生き返らせて、最後に碑文の殺し方に沿えばいいわけでしょ？つまり私がどう遊ぼうと結局は問題ないってことになるわ。こんなに面白い力、誰がおとなしくなんかするもんか。
Jesus, the laughs change each time she does one! Her wild logic was, for an endless witch, an extremely valid argument. The sacrifices for the fourth Twilight and onward had prescribed protocols for the method of killing, represented by things like gouge the head. However, that referred to the way they died in the end. In other words, in the process leading up to that, she was free to tease and kill them however she wanted. She just had to keep on reviving them, and follow the rules only when she killed them the final time. Even while Renove glimpsed some talent as a witch in her innocent cruelty, he was beginning to notice a naturally brutal side of her.
魔女は見習いが最も残忍と申しますが、本当のようですね。ご随意にと申し上げたいところですが、ここはやはり自重なさった方が賢明でしょう。彼らは銃を持っています。銃のような反魔法力の高い武器は魔女や悪魔の天敵です。
The witch stared blankly at this demon butler, who was unexpectedly afraid of guns.
話が違うわ。魔女は弾丸なんか追いかけられてもへっちゃらじゃないのかしら。
いいえ、普通の人間と全く同じように致命傷となります。
Interesting. It's kind of like vampires.
その弱点を気取らせないために、多くの魔女は厳重に防御結界や家具の守備によって身辺を固めるのです。
私にその防御結界というのはあるの？
銃弾をも無効にする結界の構築には十分な準備と儀式が必要です。残念ながら今のベアトリーチェ様にはございません。また銃弾を防げるほどの家具の召喚も現在はその準備がありません。
これほどの魔力を持つ大魔女になりながら、それでもやはり鉛玉に怯えなければならないのね。不愉快だけど仕方がないわ。となれば家具を呼び出して私の手足とすればいいわけね。
はい、危険に身をさらさず家具に全てを任すのもまた魔女の優雅なるたしなみでございます。ここは家具に任せ、ベアトリーチェ様は安全なところへお隠れを。
分かったわ。煉獄の7姉妹？誰でもいいわ。適当に2人。
Leviathan and Belphegor responded to that call.
嫉妬のレビアタン、ここに。
怠惰のベルフェゴール、ここに。
あんたたちの の力を見せてもらうわ。標的はルドルフとキリエ。秀吉はダメよ。さあ、あなたたちがどれだけ残酷な家具なのか私に見せてみて。
恐れながら先代様より不要なる残酷行為は控えるようご命令を賜っております。
でも先代様のご命令の範囲内でいたぶることはできると思います。
Oh?
それでもよろしいですか？
わかった。それで妥協するわ。簡単に殺してはダメよ。徹底的に追い詰めて死の恐怖を味わわせてから殺すのよ。それでいいのかしら、ロノウェ？
はい。程度をお考えいただければ問題ないかと思います。
ならお行きなさい。
はい、お任せを。
相手は銃で武装しています。あなたたちほどのものならばかわすことはたやすいでしょうが、もしも当たれば致命傷ですよ。くれぐれも用心を。
ご心配なく、そのような無様は晒しません。
The two sisters of Purgatory vanished. After bowing, Rudolf also disappeared.
殺し方にまでルールがね。なんで私が先代様に気兼ねしなくちゃならないの？窮屈でつまらない。
I think the battle is going to be between Eva-Beatrice and Beatrice for the, because of the ways to kill people. The predecessor of Eva-Beatrice is restricting her, kind of like how Beatrice's Virgilia tried restricting Beatrice. So, this chapter might have a battle between Eva-Beatrice and original Beatrice. Beato? Should I refer to her as Beato now, or Beatrice still? I'm gonna say Beatrice and call this current Beatrice Eva-Beatrice. Even though it's a lot longer than just calling Eva-Beatrice Beatrice and calling Beatrice Beato, it makes a lot more sense in my head. So I'll risk the longer name in order for things to make sense in my head. Oh? As the witch looked up at the portrait of the predecessor Beatrice hanging in the hall. I'm gonna repeat that, sorry. As the witch looked up at the portrait of the predecessor Beatrice hanging in the hall, she cursed. The last line of that scene, of course I messed it up. The three had already arrived at the kitchen and were gathering food supplies. Thinking of the possibility that poison had been mixed in, they gave up on the layering fruits and vegetables, and gathered a whole cardboard box full of only the safe canned foods. It was very heavy, but by piling it on the cart, they could carry it well enough. With all that, there would be plenty for 10 people to hold out until tomorrow's breakfast. That would be enough while they waited for the boat. The two men were supposed to be devoted to guard duty, but the weight of the load was tough on Kyrie, even with the cart. Hideyoshi, who professed himself strong, switched to being the cart pusher, and Rudolf and his wife took up the task of guard duty.
これだけあればジョージたちも満腹やろ。帰るまでが遠足や。行くで。
When Hideyoshi vigorously proclaimed their departure, Kyrie frowned, looking as though she was gazing into the distance. There was a wall in that direction. No, if her gaze could go through that, the hall was beyond it.
どうした、キリエ。
チリチリするの。
Scar in the score.
嫌な予感がするわ。
Kyrie stopped, narrowing her eyes even further.
女の勘か
In times like this, Kyrie's intuition surpassed reason. Rudolf trusted that intuition.
ええ、多分私たちは待ち伏せされてる。さっきまではその気配はなかったの。でもたった今感じたわ。たった今私たちは待ち伏せられた。
なら来た道を戻る義理はねえな。そこに勝手口があるじゃねえか。そっちから出よう。
Rudolf had made to unlock the back door. When things were carried into the kitchen, they never passed through the part of the mansion that the family came and went from. So outside the back door, there was probably a slope for transporting things. Surely they would be able to leave through there with the cart.
なんだこりゃ。勝手。くそ、どうなってんだ。
開かないの？
ああ、壊れてんのかな。びくともしねえぜ。
Rudolph tried various things, using force, then coaxing it. But the lock was as hard as stone, and didn't even budge.
無理せんと玄関から出ようや。もたもた時間を潰す方が今は惜しいで。
Couldn't you shoot the doorknob, or would that be a waste of a bullet?
これが罠だってのか。
わからない。用心して。
With strained expressions, the three of them returned to the hall again, and headed for the entrance. Here we go.
誰だ。
The instant they exited into the hall, Rudolph noticed a suspicious shadow right in front of them and yelled. In that instant, a storm of gold leaves started blowing, and gold butterflies dyed the area a golden color. Dance of the Moon Rabbits! Here we go.
信じられん。人間ごときが我らの待ち伏せを予見したか。
私のせいじゃないわよ。気配は消してたもん。
躊躇しないで。撃って。
The two guns spouted fire. The lead bullets blasted right through the pair's magic defense as easily as though it were a wet paper wall. But the two who should have been there had disappeared. Certainly, guns were very frightening objects for them. But there was no need to fear as long as they weren't hit. They at least had enough speed to dodge those.
ちょっと名乗りを上げさせないつもり？これだから人間は嫌なのよ。
Leviathan protested, popping her head from behind a pillar in the shadow of the staircase, a full 10 meters from where she had supposedly been.
ベアトリーチェ様のご命令により貴様らを撃つ。時間をかけてホフレトのご命令だ。抵抗は自由。されど無駄と知れ。
That voice came from overhead. Belphegor could be seen on top of the hall chandelier. Elegantly looking down upon them, she proclaimed their execution with a cruel smile.
なんなんやこの姉ちゃんたちは。
台車は忘れて。相手は2人よ。3回すれば全員を追うことはできないわ。
All three of them were well acquainted with the inside of the mansion. They had already made plans to run off in separate directions in case of a crisis, returning to the guest house by breaking windows or leaving through a back door. Fighting was forbidden, as long as they could get away.
36系逃げるが勝ちだぜ。
The three of them escaped into the depths of the mansion at full tilt. the two furniture calmly watched them go.
私は女の方をやるわ。
World and Dominator. Oh, here we go. Something badass is about to happen.
あんたは男。
了解した。
Wait, are they going to actually put up a fight against them? Are they actually going to put up a fight against the furniture? The two pieces of furniture in the shadow of the pillar and on the chandeliers burst apart their human-like forms. And, leaving behind only the sound of hopping beetles colliding with the walls, they pursued their respective targets. I think the adults are actually going to, fight them, or at least try running away. Is this the battle? Really? Because this song plays whenever something badass is about to happen. Something badass is about to happen. Their speed was overwhelming, and they easily blocked the others' path of retreat.
家具のお手並み拝見させてもらうわ。楽しませてくれるといいのだけど。
ベアトリーチェ様、みだりに姿を現されない方がよろしいかと。
キングはみだりに中央を動かないものよ。それが王者の魔女の貫禄よ。
Oh. In front of Rudolf, who had boldly tried to escape to the second floor, Belphegor was already standing in the way.
抵抗もそして闘争も無駄だ。お前は何も考えなくていい。ただ目を閉じているだけでいい。私が全て優しく終わらせてやる。
あんたいい嫁さんになれるな。疲れて帰ってくる旦那はそういうの喜ぶぜ。
この後に及んで不埒な話をする。良き獲物、ベアトリーチェ様、感謝します。死ね
Rudolf fired first. But even before that bullet could hit her, Belphegor had already moved behind Rudolph's back. There she stood, her arm raised above her, a purple trail extending from it. Oh shit, okay. Whoa! What? However, even before that arm could decapitate Rudolph, unbelievably, Rudolph had swung his gun behind him. The barrel pointed behind his back, from the same motion with which he had reloaded the sawed-off gun one-handedly. Whoa. It was pointing right at Belphegor's chest. It was the sound of the... I don't know what that sounds like, okay? It was the sound of the It was the sound of the ejected empty cartridge finally hitting the wall after the reload. In other words, it meant that the next shot was already fully loaded. Without turning around, his gun pointed right at Belphegor's chest. Rudolph grinned.
やるな。執念男の分際で。
西部劇世代をなめるんじゃねえぜ。
Whoa.
ガキどもにエヴァアクションの渋みは語らせねえ。
Oh, okay, wait. Who got shot? I mean, who got hit? Belphegor or Rudolph? Okay, now we're on to Kyrie. Just like Rudolph, Kyrie was also confronting Demon Snake in the first floor corridor.
間抜けなやつね。夫と一緒に逃げればよかったのに。さっきのは根性の別れになったわよ。
大丈夫よ。うちの人こういうのとても得意なの。すぐに白馬で迎えに来てくれるわ。私が困った時、彼が助けに来てくれなかったことはないんだから。アスムさんがいた頃であってもね。
Oh? Oh? Oh?
本当に仲のいい夫婦ね。嫉妬するわ。私は嫉妬のレビアタン。嫉妬こそ我が力、我が怒り。
我が源泉。
同感ね。嫉妬は女の力の原点よ。それが力だというなら、あなたごときお嬢ちゃんになんか負けないんだから。
嫉妬を司る私によくも言えたわね。お前たち夫婦を再会などさせるものか。悲劇的な別れを与えてやるわ。
The arm Leviathan swung trailed purple. It was a magic blade that cut by the power of malice. Oh! Oh, yes! Kyrie guarded herself against that with her gun. Even though the magic blade should have been able to cut through metal like butter, the gun, with extremely high magic resistance, was able to block the blade as easily as if it were rolled up newspaper. Rapidly, 2 times, 3 times, it blocked all of them. Maybe try going from another angle, and without missing the opening created with. Yeah, 1 second. And without missing the opening created when that purple trail took a long swing upward, Kyrie kicked Leviathan in the stomach with her heel. Almost like she was a lightly dancing feather, Leviathan was knocked away, before the demon snake's feet touched the ground again. Kyrie had already perfectly captured Leviathan, who was in midair, down to the barrel of her gun. From midair, the 2 women who had spoken to each other of envy as power met each other's gaze.
撃てる？その引きがね。
私、夫のいないところでは残酷よ。
Uh-oh. Whoa. Did you jump down the stairs? Rudolf tumbled down the staircase. He had been gradually chased down by Belphegor, who had been pushed back into the original hall.
先代様の家具もなかなかやるわね。派手さに欠けるけど。
ベアトリーチェ様、まだ終わっていません。姿を現されては危険です。
お前まさか姉貴なのか。
それはかつて私の名だった。でも今は違うわよ、ルドルフ。
言わなくても分かってるさ。黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェだって言うんだろ。
どうして分かったの？
ローザが殺された時から想像はついてたさ。ローザ、許しな。お前の地獄にお前の大嫌いな姉を送っちまうことをよ。
ベアトリッチ様、危ない！
Rudolf pointed the unforgiving barrel of his gun at the witch who claimed to have once been his sister. But Belphegor could not permit that and savagely attacked. She sprung at him, vanished, and got behind him. If he dodged that attack, she got behind him again. Oh shit. She vanished over and over, each time teleporting into Rudolph's blind spot. You need to get there, Kyrie! Come on, Kyrie! It was almost like she was a fairy. As she blinked in and out of vision, Belphegor incessantly drove towards Rudolph. What was that face?
ルドルフ、あんたの検討がどこまで続くかゆっくり見物させてもらうわ。
Then, a dull tearing sound and Rudolph's cry of anguish intermingled. Rudolph had finally reacted too slowly in his dance with the purple trail which pressed upon him, and he had let it lightly cut him on the side. A single wound delayed a single one of his actions. That caused a new wound, which delayed him from acting again. You need to get there, Kyrie. Like, you need to rush there, Kyrie, if you're doing good in her battle. If Kyrie won her battle with Leviathan, she needs to get to Rudolph, like, now. Belphegor's dance began to swallow Rudolph whole. Watching Rudolph's body gradually get carved up, his former sister let out a shrill laugh. The music's about to fade out, isn't it? No! Oh, are we going back to Kyrie? Oh! Okay, so Leviathan's still there. I thought Kyrie shot her dead instantly, but no, there's still more of a fight. Leviathan could no longer hide her irritation that Kyrie was absolutely refusing to allow her to deliver a final wound.
私は本当に愚鈍よね。7姉妹の中でいつも一番成長が遅かったわ。いつも私が遅くて弱くて間抜けだったわ。その劣等感が嫉妬となり、それを力として変換した時、私は姉妹の誰にも負けない力を得たのよ。
少女時代の程よい劣等感は大事よ。女に化粧と努力を教えてくれるわ。
人間ごときにその力の限りを尽くすのは気に入らないけれど、夫に全幅の信頼を寄せるあなたへの嫉妬を私は力に変える。気に入らないのよ。なんで命のやり取りをしてるのにあんたはそんなに余裕なの？
どうしてかしらね。
分かってるのよ。必ず夫が助けに来てくれて自分を助けてくれるって信じきってるのよ。すごいじゃない？その信頼、嫉妬に値するわ。
What kind of trust do we sisters have in each other? We sisters are always looking down on one on each other, trying to thoroughly lambast each other and turn things from bad to worse.
いつも姉妹たちにいじめられてきたわ。誰か一人だけでも味方になってほしいとずっと思ってたわ。
It seems like in this chapter, their sins are actually, hitting them harder than ever before.
だからその一人だけの味方がいて全幅の信頼を寄せることができるあなたに私は最上の嫉妬を感じるの。その夫を信じきった余裕ある表情、嫉妬が力を与えてくれるのを感じるわ。これは超えちゃうかもね。音速。
Leviathan turned herself into a snake, and the speed of her flight as she attacked was proportional to the strength of her enemy. Oh shit, okay, oh no.
姉妹たちに見下されたあの日、私は成長の早い他の6人を心の底から嫉妬した。7日7番をかけて嫉妬したわ。その末に得た私の力と速度を見るがいい。死ねー後ろ見やキリ
エー。The demon snake exposed her true form, leaping about at a terrible speed. The noise from her colliding with and bouncing off the walls sounded like a machine gun. By now, Kyrie probably couldn't tell whether it was a single snake or a swarm of beetles flying and bouncing around. Leviathan was certain of a greater than 100% chance of victory from the bottom of her heart. Then, Kyrie spoke with an unbelievably calm voice.
ルドルフさんと最初から付き合っていたのは私だったのよ。アスムさんが白々しく間に入り込んできてちゃっかりと解任したのよ。ルドルフさんは悪くないわ。あの女が体を武器にして立ち回ってルドルフさんに婚約せざるを得ないよう追い詰めたのよ。アスムさんはバトラ君を身ごもってたわ。そして同じ頃私もまた男の子を身ごもってた。
What? Wait, what? You were both pregnant? What?
運命的なことに私たちの出産日は共に同じ日だったわ。
What? Wait, what is it saying? What is it saying?
そしてアスムさんはバトラ君を出産したわ。だけれど私はダメだった。思ったことがあるわ。もしダメだったのがアスムさんで出産したのが私だったならルドルフさんは婚約を解消して私と結婚してくれたかしら。でも私は子供を産めなかった。だからアスムさんが死ぬまで、そしてエンジェを解任するまで私はアスムさんを呪ったわ。嫉妬したわ。アスムさんなんか死んでしまえ。そして私と再婚してほしいってずっと嫉妬して呪って、そしてやっとアスムさんが死んだ。私は確信したわ。私には魔法の力があって、それが呪いとなってアスムさんを殺したんだって確信したわ。
Oh!
でも私の嫉妬の炎は収まらない。内緒よ。バトラ君を見るたびにね、あの女を思い出しちゃうの。そしてバトラ君を見るたびにね、もし私の子が生まれていたら同じ年だっただろうなって思ってしまう。私は今でも彼女を嫉妬し苛まれてる。今もこれからも未来永劫にね。7日7番姉妹を嫉妬したですって。そうよ。
Oh shit!
せるなよ小娘が。てめえに男を取られて18年間嫉妬し続ける女の狂気がわかるかよ。
I'm terrified. If Leviathan's power had been 24 hours times 7 days or 168 hours worth of speed, then the power that Kyrie had accumulated was 24 hours in 1 day, 365 days in 1 year, and for 18 whole years. Even without counting leap years, it was 157,680 hours! Compared to Leviathan's power and speed, it was more than 938 times greater. So then, even if Leviathan was soaring at the speed of sound, 1,225 kilometers per hour, to Kyrie's eyes, it only looked like 1/938 of that. So then, 1,225 divided by 938 is a speed of 1.3 kilometers per hour. They say that a human's walking speed is 4 kilometers per hour. So it was even less than half of that. Almost the same speed as a baby crawling on the floor. So then... In unit time, slowed so much that you could count all the bits of dust floating through the air. Kyrie looked at the demon stake with pity. She pitied the slowness at which it came towards her. And she lazily raised the barrel of her gun, almost as though she was trying to swallow the demon stake up with the gun barrel.
恋も嫉妬もあなた全然足りない
Holy
ね。
shit.
出直してらっしゃい、お嬢ちゃん。
Holy shit!
ルドルフ、先ほどまでの威勢はどこへ？池作りは魚が跳ねてるうちがいいわ。
Ike Zoo Curry, sliced live fish.
死んだら面白みも何もない。もう十分よ。殺しちゃえば。
そこまで刻まれてよくぞここまで耐えた。もう十分だ。あとは何も考えなくてよい。痛みなく生を奪い去ってやる。
待ってくれ、頼みがある。最後にあれがやってみて。
あれとは何か？
西部劇名物のあれだよ。背中を向け合ってから3歩歩いてズドンってやつ。
Oh.
決闘か。よかろう。それにて根性の未練が尽きるならば。
That's it! Belphegor, you just fucked up! Rudolph raised his wound-covered body and turned his back to her. Belphegor responded and faced her back to his. Belphegor had a sense of integrity that was uncommon in a witch's furniture.
言っておく。たとえ私の眉間に銃口を突きつけたとしても、私はお前が引き金を引き、私の頭蓋骨に弾丸が至るよりも早く瞬間移動することができる。
ああ、そいつはもう骨身に染みてるぜ。お前は銃弾より早い。
それを知りつつ決闘を挑むお前の度胸に敬意を表し付き合うのだ。感謝せよ。
お前は律儀なやつだな。いい女だ。惚れそうだぜ。
始めるぞ。3歩で良いのだな。まずは1歩、
そして2歩、
3歩だ。これでいいのか？
ああ、そして3歩も歩いてまだ気づかねえな。俺の勝ちだな、お嬢ちゃん。
何？
Oh. What happened? Rudolph turned around and fired off a bullet. Of course, Belphegor could easily see through the speed and trajectory of a bullet like that. It should have been no problem at all to dodge it. But a spray of fresh blood flew about. Belphegor had set up an adequate magical defense barrier. But before an incarnation of anti-magic power such as that bullet, it was completely meaningless.
何やってんのよ。何当たっちゃってんの？
The bullet had hit Belphegor right in the chest. The pain from the lead caused her to grimace, as did the pain from the denial of magic.
許せ。俺は卑怯な男だ。
興ざめだわ。 魔女の家具ともあろうものが人間に破れるなんて。恥を知りなさいよ。情けない、みっともない。勝手に這いつくばって死んじゃえば。
やめな兄貴。こいつはかわせたんだ。だがかわさなかった。車線上に姉貴がいることに気づいたのさ。
Oh my god!
だから律儀なこいつはかわさずに受けて姉貴をかばったんだ。大手飛車取りに最後に気づいたんだ。
Damn, that was a dirty trick of Rudolph, but that was still really smart.
見事。
悪く思うね。お前が3歩歩く間にそれに気づけたら俺は観念するつもりだった。
あの散歩は私への手心だったか。考えようともしなかった。私は大胆だった。
Just like Lucifer and Leviathan, Belphegor's sin hit her in the end.
お前はいい女だったぜ。先に天国で化粧して待ってろ。きっと口説きに行くから。
As Belphegor slowly fell over, she lost even the power that kept her in a human form. And she turned as fine as gold dust and melted into thin air. At that point, Kyrie dashed in. It seemed that she had defeated her pursuer with her own hands. As she pointed the barrel of her gun straight at the witch, she ran up to the wounded-covered Rudolph.
大丈夫？今誰か口説いてなかった？
ああ、いい女だったぜ。もちろんお前の次程度にさ。悪いね、兄貴。
Oh!
チェックメイトだぜ。
Damn. The two of them pinned the witch down to the barrels of their guns.
情けない家具たちね。人間相手に遅れを取るなんて。
Jeez.
情けない。くだらない。つまらない。
ベアトリーチェ様、ここは引くべきです。銃弾を防ぐ結界も家具もここにはありませんよ。
Oh shit! What's up with that expression? What do you have up your sleeve, Eva-Beatrice? Are you gonna attack them? Are you gonna attack them? The witch began to let out a muffled laugh. It surprised not only Rudolph and Kyrie, but Renove as well. Because a situation like this, with two guns pointed at her, was not one that could just be laughed off, even by a witch. But the witch laughed with pleasure.
そりゃあ、先代様の使い古しの家具じゃ無理で当然ね。私には私にふさわしい新しい家具じゃないとダメよ。
What?
私、義理で使ったけど、もともとお古は嫌いなの。
As she said that, she looked down at Belphegor's remains, which had turned completely into a pile of gold dust, with disgust.
何の話をしてるかわからねえぜ。おとなしく両手を上げやがれってんだ。
Then, the witch obediently raised her hands. But, instead of raising her hands because a gun was being pointed at her, It looked more like she was a conductor facing an orchestra, waving her conductor's baton.
さあさあおいでなさい。私にふさわしき家具たち。
Dance the Moon Rabbits.
あんな安っぽい家具じゃなくて、もっともっと強力な残酷なうわ
妙な真似はやめて。引き金を引くわ。
Oh? In response to the witch's call, the hall was once again buried in the color of gold. It was a wild dance of brilliantly radiant gold butterflies, and felt as though they had been swallowed up by an ocean of gold leaf. Rove was left shocked at that upsurge of magic power. That was because it far surpassed even that of his former master. As their eyes were dazzled amidst the golden brilliance, a gunshot could be heard. Either Rudolf or Kyrie had fired around. And after the golden glow had subsided, there was the witch, looking at least cool and composed. The bullet? Kyrie had definitely fired it to her, but it was not embedded anywhere in the witch's body. There it was. The bullet was fastened in midair, right in front of the witch's chest.
防弾結界
Did Mary teleport away from the bullet? Well, that's a show of his, loyalty. Why am I losing my mind over this? A barrier, which took even her predecessor a significant amount of preparation. An instant. Ronove's face was by now twisted in shock. And the surprise did not stop there. The group of gold butterflies created two humanoid forms. Oh. It was a furniture summoning. Talk about rabbits! The butterflies peeled off and flew away. And beneath them, furniture in the shape of girls showed themselves.
シエスタの姉妹兵先代様でもおいそれと呼び出せなかったペンドラゴンの記念兵をいともたやすく
シエスタ410ここに
410. Before I let the other one introduce themselves, who are you two Chiesters? I don't know how to pronounce them, sorry. I probably pronounced Chiester? I'm gonna say Chiester. Maybe, I don't know how to pronounce this actually. Chiester 45. A weapon in a contract with Beatrice. 45 has an extremely meticulous and timid personality, and is fairly paranoid. For that reason, she compensates well for the weakness of 410's slapdash personality when they work as a pair. Cannot bear silence, and even becomes emotionally unstable unless she is constantly being given orders. 45 excels in enemy search and being decisive. The sisters' battle power is doubled by her support. Chiester 410. A weapon in a contract with Beatrice. 410 is a kid with character who has a unique and brazen way of speaking. Her hobby is teasing serious and uptight people, which is why she likes 45 and Lucifer. Rough spoken, but loves company and easily succumbs to loneliness. Gets depressed unless there is someone constantly giving her attention. 4110 excels in fire and control, and even in close range combat, exhibits battle power that is second to none. And those are the Chiesters. I really don't know how to pronounce them. I really don't know how to pronounce the word. I don't know how to pronounce it. So I'm gonna try just saying, like, emulate what the voice actors are saying, even though it might not be the correct pronunciation.
シエスタ45、ここに。私にふさわしい家具なんでしょうね、あんたたちは。絵本の朗読から同伴デートに隕石撃墜まで幅広くお答えしますよ。にひひ。お答えしないと竜王様に怒られます。
What? There's a Dragon King?
何卒ご命令を、大ベアトリーチェ卿。
Are we gonna beat this Dragon King?
ルドルフさん、逃げましょう。こいつらはダメだわ。
Thanks to the same feeling that had alerted her to the ambush by the Seven Sisters of Purgatory, Kyrie clearly heard warning sirens going off in her head, almost resembling screams. Without hesitation, they ran. As the witch elegantly watched them leave, she ordered her new furniture.
命令よ。逃げた二人を殺して、そして死体をここへ持ち帰りなさい。そしたら生き返らせて何度も遊ぶのよ。
Uh-oh. The witch's expression twisted with an evil smile. Even though she feared that expression, Lucifer appeared and spoke.
恐れながら先代様よりそのような残酷行為は慎むようにと。
When the witch stared at her with those terrifying eyes, Lucifer was struck dumb. She was unsatisfied. She was bored of not being able to let her own power and her own cruelty run wild. Irritated by her predecessor's furniture telling her to act with restraint, her discontent was at its peak.
傲慢のルシファーちゃんじゃない。お久しぶりに元気？また今度一緒に遊びましょうね。
Also, I think I recognize that voice. Hold on. This is dangerous, but I'm doing this. Who else did you voice act as? I recognize her voice, Chiester 4110. Yes, this is definitely something I need to be doing right now. Yeah, I know. This is definitely something I should be focusing on, okay? Definitely. Oh, she was Maru Orihara from Durarara. Oh. Yeah, I could definitely hear Maru in Chiester 410. I mean, 410, fuck. That's where I recognized her voice. And now, let's go back to the game. Sorry, I recognize the voice actress.
410、死後はダメです。怒られます。大ベアトリーチェ卿のご命令を迅速に遂行を。にひ。お仕事の時間だね。410了解。
One second. One second. Here's backward speech. Well, it's time for me to translate what it's saying. Okay. That's a no. Oh, wait, is that Greek? That's Greek. I think this is Greek. This is Greek letters. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh, I probably wouldn't be able to read this, but I recognize the letters. I think this is Greek.
追撃狙撃戦準備。地形データ収集。射撃用データ収集。410へデータリンク。410データ受領。標的を捕捉。地形誤差修正。射撃曲線形成。制御点補正完了。45へデータリンク。45データ受領。危険区域確認。はっ、そこはダメで 後ろ邪魔だよルシファーちゃん。バックファイアで焼けるよ。にひ。
The Chiester sisters, through their mutual measurements, were able to instantly calculate the terrain inside the mansion and the coordinates of their targets, as well as a firing curve to reach them. Yes, their shots could be guided to draw a curved line. No one would be able to escape it. The precision homing ability of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory was nothing more than a cheap version of the ability these two held.
45射撃準備完了。男子先手装填。
The two of them faced each other, and as though they were both pulling back a bowstring together, there, a dazzling golden arrow was ready.
410にひ射撃。
After they proclaimed that they were firing, together, they released a single arrow. As the curve taken by the gold sparkling snake of light drew a trail, it headed in the direction Rudolf and Kyrie had run in rapid pursuit. It turned through the corridors, sprawled over the floor, chasing them as it drew a beautiful curve. Oh. No one could block the Chiester sisters' homing projectiles. No one could escape them, and their strength could pierce all physical and magical defenses. It was an all-too merciless guided weapon of certain death. However, among mythical class soldiers, it was a weapon used by pretty much everyone. It was very commonplace for them, and very extraordinary for those of the everyday world. When he noticed something rapidly chasing them and turned around. Oh. And he's dead! Rudolf was struck straight through the location of his heart by the gold snake. It all happened in an instant. After the gold snake ran Rudolf through, it swooped down the floor, drawing a beautiful spiral, coiled itself around Kyrie's legs, and crawled up to her chest. And just like Rudolf, it shot straight through the location of her heart. And all that, too, happened in an instant. It impaled Rudolf, and it impaled Kyrie. So they died at almost the same time, dropped to their knees at the same time, and fell over at the same time.
何これ。圧倒的じゃない。バカバカしいくらいにあっさりね。私ではこういう家具が向いてるわ。先代様の中古家具とは大違い。さあ、二人の死体をここへ。飽きるまで何度でも蘇らせて、思いつく限りの残虐な殺し方を試してやるの。はあ、魔女がこんなにも楽しいなんて。命を奪うことがこんなにも楽しいなんて。
Jeez. She does a different laugh each time there's a laughing line, for which makes her so unpredictable. The most shunned action to take for someone born a human is the murder of another human. I'm gonna repeat that. The most shunned action to take for someone born a human is the murder of another human. It's only natural for a human not to understand how pleasurable it is to break this taboo. But she was no longer a human. She was a witch. And there were some pleasures that only witches could understand. By now, she tasted those pleasures and totally immersed in them. After learning that the contents of the forbidden pot were honey, she could no longer live without it. No, maybe the contents were honey because they were forbidden. In any case, the act of killing humans gruesomely and doing it over and over was by now giving her a drug-like pleasure. As the witch rolled over laughing, the gold snake, which had just been fired, returned as though being hauled back in. The two were stitched at the tip and being dragged along. Damn. The witch's order had been carried out. Rudolf and Kyrie had been killed instantly, and their bodies had been carried back.
シエスタ45、410、命令遂行を完了しました。大ベアトリーチェ教の次の命令を待ちます。どうかご命令を。赤ん坊のおもりからネトゲのお相手。スペースシャトル撃墜まで何でもお答えしますよ。にひひ。こいつらは第4の番と第5の番の生贄らしいの。だから最後には役立たずの7姉妹。ああ、もう5姉妹か。
お、
こいつらを額と胸に刺してえぐらなくちゃならない。
Wait, did Belphegor and Leviathan get perma-killed? No. Are they dead? They're not dead on the character sheet. But holy shit, are they dead? Wait, are they actually gone? Oh god! Oh my god! Are they actually gone? Are they gone? What?
でも、それを最後にすればいいんであって、それまでを私がどう遊ぼうと勝手よね。
待て
Organ Short, number 200 million C-。
そなたはわらわの言っていたことをもう忘れたのか。
おや、これは先代様。何か文句でもおありですか？
あるに決まっておろうが、そなたはやりたい放題ではないか。なぜにわらわの言いつけが聞けぬのか。
やりたい放題で何の問題があるのですか、先代様。それに私は儀式のルールを逸脱しようなんて気持ちはこれっぽっちもありません。ちゃんとこの2人の死体は後できれいにして額と胸に杭を打ち込んでおきますから。
そういう問題ではないというに。あまりに品がなかったり残酷だったりするとだな。気を悪くする者もおるかもしれぬし。
先代様がどこかで戦っているとかいうゲームの相手ですか？どの目に聞きました？
おしゃべりめ。まあ、正直に言うとそういうわけだ。
Beatrice, I don't think he's that loyal to either of you. I think he's just wanting to see how much the chaos can, how much the chaos will happen. Like, he's just there for the chaos. He just wants to see how much chaos can you all create. I think that's Renobe's only goal. I think he's just there for the chaos. Maybe.
ちょっと目に余ると、講義を受けてな。
先代様にわざわざ伝言などさせず、直接講義にいらっしゃればいいのに。臆病な方です。
こことは異なる世界の住人だからの。わらわを返さねばならぬのだ。まあとにかくだな。
ということは、その方は私に何か干渉したくてもできない。そして私も干渉したくてもできない。それくらいに遠い世界の無縁な方との認識でよろしいですか？
例えるなら、とても近い2本の平行線の世界とでも言おうか。とても身近な世界なのだが、平行線ゆえに2本の線が交わることは決してない。そんな世界と
とりあえずは認識してくれればよい。
交わらないということは私とは関係ない世界のこと
I
ということ
knew
で
she was
す。
gonna say that. I knew she was gonna say that.
もしその方の代弁で私に自重しろとおっしゃられてるのでしたら、その方に交互伝言をお願いします。
あやつにか？なんと伝える？
余計なお世話だよ、消えろよババア。へそでも噛んで死んじゃえば。
Oh. Gold sneer.
失礼しました。先代のお友達でしょうから、多分女性だろうと想像しただけです。ババアと言っても決して先代様のことではありませんから、どうかご容赦ください。
When she spoke, the witch was looking straight into Beato's eyes. Anyone in that place would be able to figure it out just by looking.
先代様、とても不思議に思うことがあります。どうして先代様はその別世界の方とゲームをして魔女だと認めてもらわなければならないのですか？
それはだな、すべての人間に魔女の存在を認めさせることが完全なる支配につながるからである。一人頑固者がおってな、どうあってもわらわを魔女とは認めんのだ。
どうしてその人間の認可が必要なのですか？魔女が魔女であり魔法を振るうことにどうして人間に認められる必要があるのですか？
だからな、前にも話した通り、魔法というのは。
私は魔女です。別に誰の認可がなくとも魔法が使えますが、何か？
この世界ではな。しかしだな、それをあやつが認めない以上はなんと説明すればよいのか。
説明いりません。だって決して交わることのない別世界の話じゃありませんか。それはつまりない世界も同じということです。別世界でゲームで戦っていると先代様が妄想を語っていることと何にも変わりません。重ねて言います。私と関係ない話です。そして私はもう魔女です。先代様はどうやらその何者かに認めてもらえないと魔女になれないようですが、私は違います。誰に認められずとももう立派な魔女です。先代ということであなたに形式的な敬意は捧げますが、それは私の行為であって義務ではありません。もう私はあなたの助言など求めていないし、これからどうすればいいか、どう遊べばいいかはっきり分かってます。だから13人殺しの儀式まではあなたへの最後の敬意だと割り切って行います。しかしそのやり方やその後のことについてはあなたに口出しされる言われは全くありません。そういうことで一つよろしくお願いします。
Hold on. Is Eva-Beatrice voiced acted by the same voice actor? Hold on, let me check. For some reason I thought it was a different actor. Hold on. Who's the voice actress of Eva-Beatrice? Oh! Miki Ito is also Eva and Eva-Beatrice. Okay, for some reason I did think they were the same voice, but no, they're the same voice. They're definitely the same voice now that I think about it, but damn. Damn, for some reason I thought they were different voices for some reason. I don't know why. But for some reason I thought it was a different voice actress for the two characters, but no, it's the same one. It's the same one. At a glance, those words seemed obedient, but they contained within them a clear parting of ways. They were saying, as clear as could be, I have no more reason to rely on you, so don't get in the way of my fun. Beato understood that, and was dejected, realizing that no matter how she explained it, she wouldn't be able to make the witch understand.
そうか。ならばわらわはもう知らぬぞ。魔法は敬いの気持ちなくして存在できぬことを身をもって知るがいい。
あなたがこれまでに縦横無尽に暴れてきたそれがどう敬いがあったのか教えてほしいものです。
After hearing that, Beato could not respond, because she remembered hearing exactly the same thing from her master.
さ、シエスタの姉妹？先代がお帰りよ。お見送りを。にひひひひ。先代様、どうぞこの場はお引き取りを。でないと私たちが叱られます。
Throughout her body, Beato felt something invisible in the Chiester sisters' eyes, which could only be described as an oppressive feeling. Most likely, they were initiating firing calculations. It was an action, much like taking out a gun and cocking it. Even Beato could not escape from the Chiester sisters' attacks without any preparation. In the past, she had placed her greatest trust in them, so she knew down to her very soul how terrifying they were.
先代様、お引き取りを。これ以上、ベアトリーチェ様のご機嫌を損ねられるのはお勧めできません。
先代様。わかった。わらわはこれにて退場する。そなたがどのような顛末をたどるかゆっくり鑑賞させてもらおうぞ。
That was as close as you could get to a loser's last retort. So, after Beato hit herself, the witch and her furniture fell over laughing.
まあわかる。
Mother.
無限の力は楽しい。有限の極みである命を自在にもてあそぶ快楽は味わったことのないものには説明できぬ。その快楽に取りつかれる気持ちわかろうと思う。
Wait, is she learning her lesson in episode 3? She's learning her lesson.
さぞや楽しかったでしょうね。かつてのあなたのはしゃぎぶりを見る限り。
あれがかつて何度も諭そうとしたお師匠様とそれに耳を重ぬわらわの姿だというのか。
なぜあの子の行為を咎める気になったのですか？
それはその
No response?
あなたにはあの子と大きな違いが一つあります。あの子はすでに魔女かもしれない。もちろんあなたも魔女です。ゲーム版の上の世界では。しかしゲーム版の外の世界で魔女だと認められるにはゲームの対戦者であるバトラ君に認めてもらわなくてはならない。あなたはそれを理解してゲームを始めたはずです。
魔女である証拠を暴風のように見せつけわらわを拒否する気持ちを吹き飛ばし屈服させればわらわを魔女と認めると思った。前回うまくいきかけたのでもう一息だと思ったのだ。
実際は逆です。バトラ君はあなたの残忍さに呆れ果てていました。そしてゲームの対戦者として登壇したのはあなたを対等な対戦相手だと認めたからではない。残忍な魔女の存在を一切認めないという強い敵意に基づいてです。 愚かなあなたはバトラ君が対戦者の自覚を持ってくれたことを自分を魔女だと認めさせる第一歩のように感じていたのでしょう。でも実際は全くの逆。バトラ君はあなたを魔女だと絶対に認めないためにあなたのゲームに挑んだのです。浅はかな北風がいくら吹きつけようと旅人はマントをより深く着込むだけ。あなたは大きな間違いを最初から犯しているのです。このゲームはバトラ君を屈服させる拷問などではない。あなたがバトラ君に認めてもらうために努力する試練なのです。
うすうすはよ、気づいてたさ。
So this is the actual lesson. Oh, okay, yes, I'm liking this.
前回はバトラ君にとって辛いゲームでした。しかしもう気づいたようですね。今回はあなたにとって辛いゲームです。
Yes, this all makes sense now. Yeah.
わらわはこれからどうすればいいのだ。
あなたが自分で考えるのです。幸いにもあなたはもうゲーム版の駒を降りて新しき魔女に委ねました。じっくりと自らについて思案する時間があるでしょう。
バトラはもう敵意の塊じゃねえかよ。魔女は認めない。そしてわらわも認めない。それでどうやってバトラに認めてもらうんだよ。北風でダメなら今からのこのこ太陽で照らせっていうのか。このわらわが今さら。
今は10月、ハロウィンの季節ですね。太陽が死に再びよみがえる再生の月です。よみがえったばかりの弱々しい太陽は冬の木枯らしに遠く及ばないでしょう。しかしじっくりと成長し、やがては春の訪れを告げることができる。その時旅人はマントを畳むこともあるかもしれない。
わらは間違ってるという。
Interesting. Uh-oh. Hell's Halls. The beautiful hall of the Ushimiya mansion was covered in a golden like gold leaf, and stained deep red with thick spurts of blood. The number of deaths given to Rudolf and Kyrie had long surpassed anything you could count on both your fingers and your toes. The witch was breathing so hard her shoulders shook, but it wasn't because she was tired. She just couldn't hide the ragged breathing caused by her still uncontainable excitement. You're having the time of your life.
人の生き死にを自由にすることのなんと楽しいことか。無限の魔女の力の前には私が思い描く無限のすべてが実現するわ。どんなにぐちゃぐちゃにすりつぶしてやったって私は指を一つ鳴らすだけで元通りにして蘇らせることができる。そして最後に申し訳程度に碑文に沿った死体に戻せばいいんだからね。ねえあんたたち、ぬいぐるみのお腹を裂いたことってある？
No?
ないです。45は？いえ、やったことありません。申し訳ありません。当然よ。普通ないわ。ましてやお気に入りのぬいぐるみだったらなおさらよね。 でもずっと思ってた。こんなにも大好きでふかふかのぬいぐるみの中には何が詰まってるんだろう。
Cotton. Lots and lots of cotton. No, stop looking at me like that. Stop looking at me like that. I am not going to cut you open, Kyube.
いつか覗いてみたいってずっと思ってたわ。
I've been curious. I've not been curious about it. Definitely not. I have. If you cut it and looked inside, your curiosity might be quelled, but the stuffed animal would be broken. So even though you want to see, you can't. You understand that feeling, right?
無限の魔女の力はまさにそれを叶えてくれる力なの。今の私は好きなだけぬいぐるみを裂くことができる。なのに魔法一つでそれを元通りに蘇らせることができるわ。それはつまりこの世のあらゆる制約を打ち破ったということ。今の私には躊躇することも思いとどまることも何もないの。その喜び、誰にもわからないでしょうね。無限の魔女の私以外誰にもわからない。
As the witch let out a euphoric cry, she revived Rudolf and Kyrie again. And faster than they could realize it, she killed them right away. As she made it known that something other than cotton was stuffed inside those two. Amazing.
予算かエヴァ。
あんたいたの。
In that hall of tragedy, Hideyoshi showed himself, his gun ready. The witch had sealed the mansion with a barrier, so Hideyoshi had nowhere to run. Wait, hold on. His gun ready? When did he get a gun? When did he get a gun? Didn't Kyrie and Rudolf have guns? There was only two. When did Rudolf get a gun? Did he pick one up, or when did he get a gun? Oh, okay. He had probably picked up Rudolf or Kyrie's gun and come back. It seems that the gun, which should have been something to be feared, was no longer an object she took seriously now that she was overflowing with magic power. Her bold expression didn't flinch in the slightest.
なんでローザさんやマリアちゃんやルドルフ君やキリエさんまで殺さにゃならんのや。
The song that's playing right now is Rose.
はあ？私は後宮家の当主にして六軒島の魔女よ。この島では何を起こそうと全ては自由自在。今だけの一瞬を切り取ってその生き死にを問うなど私には無意味なこと。
Hideyoshi was struck speechless by that all too callous response from the witch. Could someone's personality change so much just by finding Kinzo's gold?
どんだけ高く積まれた黄金やったやろな。わしには想像もつかん。お前の正気を失わせるほどのものだったんやろ。だがな、そんなにもたくさんの黄金やったならなして気前よく分けっこしたろって思わんかったんや。
誤解してるわ。あれは全て黄金の魔女のものよ。私以外の誰にも触れる資格はない。
お前は何や。昔聞かせてくれた少女時代の魔女だったエヴァだとでも言うんか。
そうよ。あなたの妻の後宮エヴァの胸の中にずっと住んでいた少女時代の私。そして魔女なの。 エヴァは私を忘れることによって大人になったわ。だから魔法が使えない。
誰だって子供の頃には無邪気だけれど残酷な妄想に頭を膨らませることはある。わしかて小さい頃はアリを踏んで回ったりトンボの羽をむしったりして遊んだことがあるわ。
Am I the one person who didn't do any of that? Am I the one person who didn't do that? I'm sorry, I had to yell that. I'm like the one person that I've ever heard of never doing that sort of shit. I don't know why. But I never did any of that.
しかし命の大切さを学んでそんな残酷な幼年時代から卒業するんや。今のお前はまさに幼年時代そのものやで。エヴァが卒業したはずの人格なんや。それはエヴァやない、別の人間や。
そうよ、私後ろ宮エヴァじゃない、黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェだもの。楽しいわよ。何の制約もしがらみもなく生き死にを自由にできるこの閲楽は本当に素敵。
Hideyoshi's gonna get killed, isn't he?
割った金魚鉢を謝らなくていい。そして好きなだけぬいぐるみを裂いていい。私は
A dry sound. Well then, BP. It was the sound of Hideyoshi slapping the witch's face. By looking at the hall stained deep red with fresh blood, he should have been able to imagine how terrible the witch was. But without fear, without even hesitating, Hideyoshi had walked determinedly up to her and hit her on the cheek.
アホ！三角ぶるなや。ほんまは臆病者の弱虫のくせに。わしがまた更生させたるわ、このシャワルが。このアホ！アホ！
痛い、ちょっと。
命の大切さとか儚さとかそういうのが分かる女やったらな。わしが思い出させたる。何が魔女や、アホ抜かせ。
What a load of crock! What's a crock? What?
お前はわしの女房の後ろ宮エヴァや。冷蔵庫の残り物でちょいちょいと気の利いたつまみを作れる台所の魔女が先の山や。目を覚まさんかい、このアホんじゃらが。
だから後ろ宮エヴァじゃないって言ってるでしょうか。
アホ抜かせ。この
As tears dripped down his face, Hideyoshi kept hitting the witch's head. He wasn't even pointing the gun at her anymore. So, that sound of gunfire couldn't have come from the gun Hideyoshi was holding. What? Hideyoshi got shot? Whoa! The gun, which had fallen in the corner near Rudolph's body, was floating in the air. Its smoke lingered near the barrel. And the bullet? A red stain was slowly spreading across the chest of Hideyoshi's vest. Even though his back was facing the barrel of the gun, the bullet was embedded in Hideyoshi's chest. Holy shit. Wait, who shot him?
だから私はエヴァじゃないと言ってるのに、バカでうざい男ね。あんたしつこいから第6の番の生贄に変更してあげるわ。
Wait, who was that going to be?
どこかのベッドの下に隠れて震えてでもいたなら見逃してやるつもりだったのに。
What? Who would have been the sixth one then?
わざわざ戻ってきて
カな男だわ。
Thunk. There was dull sound as Hideyoshi fell to the floor. Even though he would be able to escape his pain by dying, he resisted that until the last second. And staring straight into the witch's eyes, he passed away. Because he had died without closing his eyes, for a short while, the witch didn't realize that he was dead. And she remained pinned down by that gaze.
こいつも新しいおもちゃにして遊びます？にひ。
At those words, the witch finally realized that Hideyoshi was dead.
そうね。どうしようかしら。
The Chiester sisters waited for instructions. Chiester sisters? I don't know how to pronounce them. On the inside, they imagined an order even more brutal than before from their master. But the expression that rose to the witch's face looked as though she had gotten over her excitement. She looked down at Hideyoshi's face, which still had tears dripping down it.
この男のせいですっかり興ざめだわ。もうやめた。ロノウェイいる？
はい、ここに。
後片付けをお願い。先代様もうるさいしね。あのババアが納得する程度に綺麗にしておいてちょうだい。一応、先代様への義理で儀式のルールには従うわ。この3人の死体を第4の番から第6の番ってことでお願いね。ルシファー、出番よ。
傲慢のルシファー、ここに。
その3人の死体、ほじくってえぐっといて。
死体をですか？
そうよ。何か不満？
いえ。
The seventh sisters of Purgatory had a modest sense of pride. It was the pride of a hunter, the pride of gouging prey that they had brought down themselves. However, being told to gouge a corpse that someone else had brought down ran contrary to that feeling. Of course, that was not the witch's intention, but for the seven sisters, it was horribly humiliating. However, they had already messed up, with 2 of the sisters defeated, so they had no right to question her. Only Rudolf appreciated that, and he rested his hand on her shoulder in understanding.
ベアトリーチェ様のご命令ですよ。ルシファーは3人を選び、儀式の作法に従い処理をするように。あと、できましたら私のお片付けにも手を貸してください。
かしこまりました。
The witch looked down upon Hideyoshi's corpse, as though implying that this somehow weird atmosphere was all Hideyoshi's fault.
バカな男ね。死なずに済んだのに。
Well, at least she was going to spare him, but damn. Damn.
あなた！あなた、どこ？いるわよね。返事をして。
The sound of a loud thunderbolt. The sound of a loud thunderbolt woke Eva from her nightmare. If Hideyoshi had been ripping her hand at that time, her feel-for heart would probably have been instantly healed. However, Hideyoshi, who had sworn that he wouldn't leave even for a moment, was nowhere to be seen in the room. Oh. And that's the glass break. Dang. Oh my god, it's only 1:30. And the definition of the witch is what's going to be the next chapter. So yeah. That is all for this time. There was a lot to take in this chapter. Well, we learned that in this chapter, 2 humans could actually take down Sister of Purgatory, and Hideyoshi kind of fucking died. He kind of fucking died, which got me into the question of who shot him, and who would have, you know, been in his place if he didn't get shot. Definitely it wasn't Eva who shot him, for obvious reasons. Eva wouldn't shoot Hideyoshi, so who could have shot Hideyoshi? I'm actually very intrigued, and yes, I can go with, he picked up a gun from either Kyrie or Rudolf, but I'm not gonna say anything about the crime scene until I learn what's in red. As soon as I see the red, that's when I will make my theory as to what happened in that room. I could make a theory now, but nothing would make sense. So I'm waiting for the red in order to make my theory. Now, I can actually make a magic theory right now. No, I can't. Who would have shot Hideyoshi from a magic perspective? It was just a random gun that lifted up and shot him. Who would have done that from a magic perspective? Unless it was the ghost of Rosa or Maria. One of their ghosts has picked up the gun and shot them, one of their ghosts. But no, I don't know who shot Hideyoshi. You know? I don't know who would have shot Hideyoshi. So yeah, that whole scene is up to a mystery until I see what's in red. Until I see what was in red, I won't say anything about this. But we learned some very interesting things about Kyrie in this part. At the same time as Asumu was pregnant, Kyrie was also pregnant. And according to what Kyrie had stated, she was supposed to have a boy, but the boy didn't make through, while Asumu pulled through with Battler. Is it bad of me to be suspicious of this scenario? Is it bad of me to be suspicious of this scenario? Because, okay, I'm thinking about it. 2 women pregnant at the same time. This is basically based off of tropes I've seen in a lot of TV shows, so let me just go ahead and go through this stuff real quick. 2 women, both with the same guy. Both of them are pregnant, and they're both going to have a boy. And one mother was able to conceive a child, which would be Battler, while the other, the child didn't make it. Is it bad of me to say that I'm not for sure whether or not Asumu is truly Kyrie's child or not? No, okay. This is definitely Rudolph deserves a slap. If this is true, what I'm saying, but here we go. Rudolph switched the paperwork. He switched the paperwork. That's my theory, because come on, okay. I cannot, I don't want to fully say that, Kyrie is wrong, because that's really sad, but the scenario of 2 women at the same time about to have a boy, come on. That's really an easy setup to think about, if you ask me. It's easy for me to think about it a little bit closely, because they were both pregnant at the same time. One had a child, one did not. But according to Kyrie, once she was confirmed to be pregnant, Rudolph married Asumu. Now, if Asumu's baby died in childbirth while Kyrie's did not, well, what if Rudolph kind of did some stuff with the, paperwork, like he switched around the paperwork, leading to Asumu to officially be the mother of Battler on paper, while Kyrie's baby died on paper. But in actuality, the roles could have been reversed. But because he was already married to Asumu, he could not let people know that his baby from a mistress was born. Instead, he said it was his wife's baby when his wife's baby died. If we go by the trope of he switched the paperwork. That would be very, very slap-worthy if Rudolph did that, because that could definitely cause a lot of painting Kyrie, and she's still resentful to Asumu to this very day. Though I congratulate Kyrie for at least, not exactly saying that she despises Battler. Like, she seems to be in a good relationship with Battler. Even though every time she sees him, well, yeah, she thinks of Asumu, the woman that she really hated. Like, wow, some of the statements that Kyrie said, terrifying. It's kind of terrifying. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about what Kyrie said in this chapter. It's terrible, but I don't think she knows the truth. I'm not saying that she's lying. No, she actually is legit about this, but someone else is lying to her. She doesn't know the truth. She's been lied about by the man she loves the most.
Okay.